Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Lu. If you ever watched my previous videos and shorts, you guys probably think I'm a sunshine girl who loves smiling, always happy, and seems never have any down moment. But I was constantly sad, depressed, and even felt suicidal. When I was very little, I was always staying in my paternal grandparents' house because my parents were always busy at work. In my childhood memory, my parents were pretty strict to me. If I couldn't memorize the poetry of the Tang Dynasty, probably it's like if I couldn't memorize Shakespeare's sonnets, I would just get a bad beat from them. And even when I forgot those relatives' name, like the name of my uncles, the name of my aunties, I would get a beat from them as well. And I always escaped to my grandparents' house and hid myself there. My grandma always kissed me on my forehead and caressed me. I always questioned myself. Why? Are those really matter? Why my parents treated me so bad? I asked my mom, "Mom, where do I come from?" She always told me, "You are from a trash bin. No one liked you. We had sympathy, so we just took you home. If you don't behave right, if you don't listen to us, you will go back to the trash bin again." Am I that pathetic? I asked myself. And for years, I was trying to look for my real mom and dad. Until later, I realized they actually are my parents. And quote what my parents telling me, these are just white lies. When I grew up a little bit, for some reason, my parents took me to Shanghai, the Oriental New York in the aspect of economy and finance. That basically means I had to say goodbye to my grandparents. I cried like pouring rain. I remember that was before year 2000. My classmates, my teachers didn't like me at all, just because I came from another city. You know, Shanghainese has their pride. They laughed at my height, my weight, basically everything in me. But I was lucky, at least there's one girl who's willing to be my friend. We were always passing little piece of paper to each other during some boring classes. We would write down a whole lot of conversations to each other. I really enjoyed those moments. Until one day, we were discussing which university we wanted to go in the future. I wrote down, I'm expecting one day we become classmates again at Harvard University. And this paper got cut by the class teacher. She hated me with passion, and she laughed at me while reading our paper. "Lu, you are really dreaming, huh? You're such a crazy girl," she criticized me. And she even called my mom to the school. I knew I might be dreaming because that was before year 2000. In China, in the environment that I lived in, you can barely see someone go abroad. I don't know. I just heard Harvard University was the best one in the whole world. I didn't even know where it is located. But I did know I am an ambitious girl from that day. And I did know my ambition got mocked. I grew up a bit more. One day, I opened my eyes in bed. I realized I couldn't see anything at all. My mom took me to see an ophthalmologist. He told me only steroid can treat my eyes. But the biggest side effects of steroid are acne and obesity. Yeah, you can imagine I gained lots of weight during those months. My classmates laughed at me. Look at you, fat girl. You don't need a desk. You can even do your homework on your big belly. Your face is such a moonscape. Every time I looked at myself in front of the mirror, I just saw myself as an ugly, disgusting monster. I hate myself being the way it is. Plus, my teachers, my parents, my relatives continued giving me pressure on my study. I remember every time I went back to my hometown with my parents to visit my relatives, they always telling me, Lu, how comes you gain weight again? Why not gain your school scores instead of your weights? Especially one of my aunties who loves comparing each other's child. She always put everyone's kid together and asked us how much we got in the final exam. After that, compared each other. I had so much pressure, and I hated myself more and more. I even felt suicidal. Maybe the only way to prove myself was to study hard and become the best student. I questioned myself. I grew up even more. I started to understand there's a special feeling between boys and girls. Yes, I started to like a boy in my school. He's tall, handsome, good at study, good at playing basketball, always the focus of every girl in school. Every time I saw him in the hallway, I really wished he could look at me. Just a glance would make me so happy for a whole day. But how can a chubby, ugly me attract him? One day, I asked my best friend to help me pass a piece of paper to him. On that paper, I wrote, I like you. After school, I saw him waiting for me outside my classroom. My heart was beating like crazy. You really like me? He asked. Yes, I answered, with a blushing face and a head down. He turned around and started to laugh. I slowly raised my head and realized his friends were standing behind him. They were laughing and saying, Such a fat girl has the audacity to like you, huh? I cried that day. Maybe the only way to prove myself was to control my diet, lose weight, take care of my skin, and put my head up whenever it is. I questioned myself. Is life all about to prove ourselves to others? Is life all about to please those who don't love and care for us? Is life all about becoming someone that we are unwilling to become? If I were a child again, if I were 16 again, if I were 18 again, if I were 20 again, and now the age I am at, I want to just be the person who I am. The person maybe get lots of laughter from others, maybe get lots of disrespect from others, maybe get lots of heartbroken from others. But why should I care? Do those others